What are the mortgage options? Here we have an FHA loan, which is a 3.5% down program. There's also an FHA 203K loan, which is a limited rehab. That means we find a house, but it needs a little bit of rehab. And this is what they call a FHA 203K loan. They'll loan you the amount that's required to make the upgrades that are necessary. When I say upgrades, this isn't cosmetic, folks. I'd love to say that, you can get a brand new kitchen and flooring and all that things. And what we're really talking about is something that maybe a home is not habitable. Maybe the AC is not working. Now, that's not a pretty item. Nobody wants to spend $5,000 or $10,000 on an AC because you don't see it, but you do in the month of August here in the state of Florida, right? So some of the things that you'll need to upgrade will be items that are more relative to the condition of the home rather than the aesthetics of the home. Then we have what's called the VA. So if you're a veteran in active duty, or even I believe a widow of a veteran, you would be able to do a VA loan at 0% down. We have what's called the USDA loan, and that is a 0% down program in rural areas. So that's really more the actual property that qualifies. And then there are conventional loans ranging from 3% down all the way to 20% and more, of course. What are the different types of housings that these loans would qualify for? Well, naturally, your single family home. You also can qualify with these programs with a 2 to a 4 unit home, but you must reside in one of those 2 to 4 units. It can't be an investment. Also a duplex, and that could be a half of the duplex because it's the dwelling that you're going to live in. Townhomes, condos. Condos are a little bit trickier because they do have the HOA element, and so they have to be approved by the lender. And so oftentimes that could take a little bit longer, and it's just a little bit more rigorous to get approval for that. Also, which a lot of folks don't know, manufactured or mobile homes, they do have to be newer than 1994, and the property has to come with the land. So you can't just purchase the actual mobile home structure. It has to include the land that the mobile home is on. Otherwise, they won't approve it. The other caveat to that is like, say, okay, Evelyn, well, I'd like to buy 2, 3, or 4, 5 acres with a manufactured home. The other restriction is that the land can't be worth more than the house. We have to make it challenging for you, right? So just making sure that you're aware of some of these things as you're looking at these different types of housing is important. Making an offer. Why is this important for me to share with you? Well, like I mentioned before, understanding what the seller's needs helps me to put you in pole position. If I know what that seller needs, I'm able to craft that offer so that you are at the top. It's not always as important that it's the highest price. I always tell my sellers, the highest price isn't always the best offer, because if the terms and conditions don't match what you're looking for, then that might not be something that works for you. So we decide on the purchase price. We typically you do a 1% earnest money deposit. It's 1% of the purchase price. We put on the contract that 13-page contract. It's filled in completely, so you're knowing how much you're putting down, what's going in escrow, how much time you're giving that seller to respond to your offer, when you close, all of those things, including inspection period. Now, as a buyer, I always say that the Florida contract actually protects the buyer more so than the seller, because if for any reason within that 7, 8, 10-day inspection period, you decide you don't want to proceed with that purchase, you're able to cancel and not be penalized, just as long as you keep an eye on that contingency, those dates, make sure that you reach out to the listing agent, let them know you're not proceeding, provide a cancellation, and you get your earnest money deposit back. And either the offer that we submit is either going to be accepted, countered, or declined. I'm not going to go through all of these. These are just the closing costs that you can you're going to be paying. It typically averages to be about 3% of the purchase price, and that includes the home inspection and appraisal and all of these fabulous lender fees. And that's just the price of getting a loan. resources. I can connect you with all types of trusted professionals, anything from a financial planner to a lender, someone that needs to help you with credit repair, home inspector, home insurance, which right now you may know that home insurance is going through the roof. So being able to have multiple people in our pockets that will be able to give quotes to make sure that monthly payment doesn't go over, home warranty companies, and much, much more. On this QR code, you'll be able to snap a picture of it and be able to see some of the resources of the professionals that I use and I refer to my customers because they're just top notch. And that's me. I'm Evelyn Alisea. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I am a member of the Orlando Regional Realtor Association and the National Association of Realtors.
All right. Thank you so much, Evelyn. We were trying to keep up with you with these notes in the chat. Those of you who were following along, we were helping you out, getting those notebooks filled in. Renisha was also helping out. Thank you so much, Renisha. She's always so good with helping us capture the essence of what we're talking about. So this is an opportunity, you all, for you to ask questions, for you to get your, any clarity on something that Evelyn talked about. We do have a little bit of time. And while you can either type this in the chat, or you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question that way as well. I know someone had a question about credit repair. Okay, let's see. For credit repair question, now last week we had David come and speak to us about money management. What do we need to know about money? And the reason we did that talk first was because that will help you help you to get in the right mindset and in the right position if you're ready to move into the phase of home buying. I do have a question, Evelyn, a money question. I'm not sure if this is in your area, but I know being a realtor, you've worked with with mortgage companies. What do they say is the average amount that a person should allocate for their home? Because sometimes people aren't sure. They think they're ready to buy a home, but then when it comes time to look at the mortgage, they're not really sure. So if you have a salary, what percentage of your salary should go towards your home buying to give you a gauge on whether or not you're going to be able to find the type of house you're looking for in that range that you're looking for?
Well, that's a great question, Dr. Fabian. And the lenders are looking for you to have a maximum of a 45% or below your income of debt, and that includes your home. So your monthly mortgage payment, as well as any credit card debt or any, auto debt or anything like that. So they want you at below that 50%. Sometimes, depending on the actual loan program, they can work it up a little bit more, but generally speaking, they want you at 45% or below mark.